Global PMO of the PMO Global Institute Learning Series. I'm your host, I'm Alfonso Rios, and I'm really happy to be here. I'm sorry for the technical issues. I know we started a little late today, but we have a really interesting episode going on for today. At the PMO, we are always eager to give you all of the tools that you need for to improve your practice, and I'm really happy, and I really hope that we can I don't know like improve your day to day basis practice with the tools that we are providing here. Please leave all your comments in the private chat, well, in the chat. Leave all your questions. I'm gonna be here reading them. I am really happy to be here again. I'm really grateful. Um, we are going to be talking about something very interesting today. How do you make these different how do you make these different versions of the PMO run together? I mean, what I mean by that is how do you give all of these methodologies inside the PMO? If you are having, for example, a waterfall project or an agile project, how do you make them live together? And how do you make all of these in the same set and still keeping all of the rules and everything? So um, with me again, so that will be the PMO compatibility across diverse project methodologies, and I'm really pleased to have Mr. Nassim here today with me. Mr. Nassim Rahim is an experienced senior consultant with more than 20 years of experience in global project and program management. He specializes in PMO best practices, governance, and performance optimization. He's committed to delivering high value projects. He's driving continuous improvement, and he's continuously also enhancing organizational resilience. He's actually the CBPMO consultant and authorized business partner instructor of the PMO Global Institute. So, welcome, Mr. Rahim. Give me a second. Welcome, Mr. Rahim. How are you today? Can you hear us
Uh,
well?
Hello, Alfonso. Hello, everyone. I'm fine. I'm very happy to be here. Can you hear me well?
We can.
It's perfect. Perfect. Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. I'm Nazim. I'm thrilled to have you here, and really excited to dive into this topic of today. Um, shall I share my screen, the presentation?
Nope. It is.
You have it. That's great. Great. Before starting, let me ask you. Have you ever faced a situation where one team swear by Agile, another follow a strict waterfall process, and the leadership just want results and fast? If it is the case, it is what we experience most of the time, and you are here at the right place. Today, we are diving into a topic that challenge how to manage multiple projects methodology within the same organization. As businesses strive to stay competitive, they often find themselves juggling with agile, waterfall, hybrid, and sometimes within the same portfolio, same program, same portfolio, and even same project. You can have different methodology. But how to ensure alignment, efficiency, and governance, maintaining flexibility? This is where this is where the PMO plays a critical role, acting as a bridge while driving strategic success. So the topic of the webinar, introduced by Alfonso, is PMO compatibility across diverse project methodology. Can we the next one? So let's explore together how PMO can make it all work together. I propose to guide you through three steps. We'll start with acknowledging the challenge of managing multiple project methodology. Why organizations adopt different methodology? But what could be also the friction between structure and agility? What are the common issues? Then we'll move on understanding the role of PMO, a role of a PMO in this context, how the PMO can bring value. And finally, we'll identify the key strategy and best practices to ensure compatibility. Let's get started. Few words about the context. In today's highly evolving and complex environment or complex business landscape, organizations face diverse project requirements that cannot sometimes be addressed by a single project management methodology. So they have to go for different one. Is it necessary? Are there some benefit? Yes. Obviously, yes. It's necessary to go for multiple methodology and define some benefits. But to remain agile, competitive, and strategically aligned, business are increasingly adopting those multi-methodology approach. Okay, but managing this multi-methodology, you have this challenge. You have this challenge to how to align the strategic goals across the project, how to maximize project support success rate, and also how to have a global picture of the situation, have a reporting structure that is understandable, how to allocate resource. You have a lot of questions behind that we will check, we will see with the challenge. And in this context, what is the role of the PMO? How the PMO can bring value? In this context, we can say that if you have a well-defined PMO strategy, you will be successful in this kind of environment. Can we move, please? In this slide, we put the main methodology that we encountered: Waterfall, Prince2, Agile, Lean, Six Sigma, Hybrid. You all know those methodology, and all those methodology they are required for specific project. Waterfall, best for project with clear, stable requirement, for example. Agile, in uncertainty environments. Time to market, best for project with evolving requirements. Six Sigma, focus on process improvement. Lean, on process optimization. And you have also the hybrid. So those methodologies are quite standard, used by a lot of companies for different projects. Next slide, please. So the question is, why using different methodology? Organizations adopt multiple project management methodology because no single approach can effectively address the diverse nature of project across diverse industries, across teams also, and business objectives. So the key reason include project complexity type, customer and stakeholders requirement, scalability and change adaptation, but we can also add the culture. It's also important that some teams, they are better in this kind of environment. Other teams, they prefer to have more secure environment with Waterfall, for example. So project complexity, you have team, organizational culture, also customer stakeholder requirement, and scalability change adaptation. So that's why they adopt these multiple methodologies simultaneously. For the project complexity, just a few words. Yes, some projects require this because they are building some strong foundation, so they go for Waterfall. Other time to market was, as I said, they want to deliver value, they go for Agile. So it's that, and then you can figure out that different methodology for different purpose. We can move. they move for this kind of different methodology environment because they can see they can see a lot of benefits using different methodology. They can tailor their approach. They can tailor their approach to the need of each project. They can optimize also the resource, and they can manage the risk and deliver value quickly. But the counterpart that you have many challenges, and when organizations operate with multiple methodology, they face several challenges that can impact efficiency, coordination, and strategic alignment, such as lack of standardization, inconsistent processes and workflow, inconsistent processes, workflow, different between the teams, and also difficulty to align project reporting, governance, and sometimes the decision making. Another difficulty is the integration and communication issue. Agile and waterfall teams working in silos sometimes and causing misalignment. Cross-functional teams struggling to coordinate due to different cadences and work styles. The resource allocation is the, the one of the main parts in project management, how to allocate better the resource. So the difficulty we have to balance the availability of resource across teams using different approach. Sometimes you have key resource that need to be switched from a project to another one because they are very critical resource, such as technical architect or functional architect, for example. They have to switch. And how can we allocate them? And the performance measurement, we have different KPI. For example, in Agile, we are focused on velocity, cycle time, on waterfall, on the scope, the cost, timeline. How can we make it understandable, have an overview for the decision maker? The tool and technology misalignment. I use Jira in Agile. I use Kanban. I use MS Project. But I need to get all the figures, all the data to be able to make my reporting. For what? For the decision making. And then even the leadership struggle to get a clear, unified view of project. This unified view of project health check or health of across the different methodology is sometimes difficult to acquire. Now, if you can see in this draw, you have the PMO in the center of methodology A, methodology B. So the project management office play here a critical role in ensuring that this diversity in methodology, whether you use Agile or Waterfall, does not lead to fragmentation or inefficiencies or misalignment between business objectives. So we are going to see the key role of the PM. Can a PMO be truly methodology agnostic? I would say it must be agnostic, methodology agnostic. A PMO must be methodology agnostic in the sense that it enables the right methodology for the right project while maintaining governance and alignment. However, in reality, it often leans toward a preferred framework. Some companies said, I prefer this kind of framework because it's more secure for me, based on the organizational priorities sometimes. But the key to success is balancing governance and flexibility, ensuring that all methodology contribute effectively to the company strategy, to the business goal. So can a PMO be truly methodology agnostic? Yes, it must be. So how the PMO deliver value in the multiple methodology environment? What is the role of the PMO? We put the role of the PMO in the center. The PMO is what? Is enabler. The PMO is an enabler. And you have six topic, six pillar. We can say six pillar. The value of the PM is what? To ensure the strategic alignment. Is really important. All project, whatever the project you are using, whatever the methodology you are using, need to be aligned with the strategic goal. It's key, absolutely crucial. We need to focus on the big picture. We don't care about the methodology, the big picture, where we are going, what we have to deliver. The governance also, is important, and best practices to ensure that we can deliver. And then we have to think about a standard governance, a standard frame, but allowing some flexibilities. So ensure flexibility and structure governance. The training and support is a key pillar, because moving from one methodology to another one, just at the beginning of the presentation I said, in some company where you have this strong culture, people prefer this kind of methodology or that kind of methodology. Sometimes it seems to be obvious that we can go for Agile, but it's not so obvious for some companies or for some teams. And then PMO playing a role to train, to bring this knowledge to all team, to make them be more efficient using this or that methodology. Another pillar is the performance metric and reporting. How can we give a structured reporting or one page to our decision maker, even if we use several type of methodology? So it's good that we can have a kind of frame, a standard frame, and we can tailor the performance metric to ensure the transparency and real-time visibility. The technology integration. We said Jira, MS Project, Kanban. What is the best technology that fit for the methodology that we use? And then different team using different methodology. But the main part is how they can communicate all together. And the last one is how to move from a technology to another one, from a methodology to another one. It's linked to the training, of course, but here is the strategy, how to make the transition. And making the transition is not easy, because you have a change resistance, reluctancy, fears, and then the PMO plays a role to accompany, to secure the transition. What is the strategy that the PMO can set up? We can move for the other side. The key strategy for ensuring compatibility, I put here three main steps. The first one, 3 main step, is strategic alignment, focusing on big picture and allowing for methodology flexibility. Conduct maturity assessment. Why is it important? It will help to identify gap in methodology adoption and integration, and then we can provide a clear picture of where teams struggle with alignment, governance, and execution. So we have a picture, and we know where the weakness, and then we can identify any change on the methodology, and put the proper action plan behind. The second one is focusing on the big picture. The big picture is always where we are going, what we want to deliver, and it's important to keep it in mind. Methodology is not so important. Allowing the methodology flexibility at the execution level. We have a frame, but at the execution level, you have freedom to manage. But you have to provide these elements for the reporting. And then on the right side, you have the declination. Define a clear objective, minimum governance standard, but flexible in the execution, unified performance metric. Encourage cross-methodology collaboration and accompany the team to use the right methodology. Next slide, please. And here you have the key step, what we said, conduct maturity assessment, and then adapt the governance, and at the end, provide the coaching. We can move. You have 3 slides where we put the key element required in Waterfall, Agile, in different methodology, and what are the response from the PMO, what the PMO can bring. For example, if you go for Waterfall, as you can see here, Waterfall is for defined phase, heavy documentation based for project with clear, stable requirement. The PMO will provide a structured governance with milestone tracking. They will ensure clear documentation. They will check that we have properly provided documentation, and we can use the tool like MS Project. For Agile, iterative and incremental development, PMO will facilitate the Agile adoption. It's best for project with evolving requirements. So we'll use the different tools that will help us with that, Jira or Kanban. So here you can see in the different slides, you have 3 slides for the different methodology, the key point in each methodology, and the response from the PM. We can move on the other slide just to see. Yes, you have here Lean and Six Sigma, and we finish with hybrid. I think that we can move now. For the Prince 2 hybrid is the same. What is required and what is the response from the PM? What are the key takeaways? Key takeaways of this presentation. The role of a PMO in the multi-methodology environment is crucial and is key. They will ensure the flexibility, the strategic alignment, and the collaboration is very important. So the PMO ensure all methodology contribute to the business success. Is really important. We need to stick to the business strategy, and then they ensure that all methodology deliver the value according to the strategy of the organization. Strategic alignment is essential. The governance must be adaptable and not rigid. And then you have a frame. You said that in this governance, we need to have decision making, we need to have risk management, we need to have this, that, and then it's the frame. And the way that you are managing can be flexible depending on the methodology. We must also have performance tracking that should be unified, because you have several methodology providing the different KPIs, and then you have to unify them in the understandable way. The PMO must accommodate this variation without creating silos or inefficiency. It seems to be obvious, but not really. Sometimes we are facing some silos, and the team across the different methodology, they don't understand each other. So that's why the PMO must act as a bridge. It's important that they make people work together. They act as a bridge, sharing the knowledge and coordinate the team. The conclusion is, instead of forcing a one-fit-all approach, the PMO should identify the best methodology for the project, but also for the culture of the team. There's those points that I wanted to share with you regarding this topic and the key takeaway. And if you allow me why this topic is important, this topic is really important for for the PMO leaders, for the executive, and for the project team. For the PMO leaders, it's important because aligning the strategic execution, the PMO leaders, we have this role to balance governance and flexibility. But what is really important is to align with the strategic, the strategic objective. It's also important for the executive, driving business value and decision making. How can I get the data, whatever the methodology behind, that can make me take the right decision? And it's also important for the team itself to work efficiently without having the constraints that we have explained previously, lack of standardization.
Thank you, Mr. Nassim. I really think it was an interesting conversation. Thank you, everybody, from joining from the different parts of the world, like Turkey, like Algeria, Michigan, and thank you, Toronto. And I really thank you for all of the people that is joining from Latin America. I know it's really early over here, but thank you also. Mr. Nassim, I think you have provided us with a really interesting point of view of how the PMO should align in terms of the business objectives. And I think that this is really, really interesting. I think that my first question would be, how do you balance this? I mean, how do you balance the governance and the standardization of the PMO, giving this visibility to the business and keeping being flexible enough? How do you balance that between the standardization and the flexibility of the different project management approaches? How do you do that?
It's really a challenge to have the standardization. It's a challenge to have the standardization, to have a common standard, to standardize, and to have a flexibility. So I think that we can define a frame. We said that for this governance, for this reporting, for the governance, we want to have this risk. We want to have the risk management is non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Each project using different methodology, we always need to have a risk management. All projects need to be aligned with the strategy. Is the key, the key frame that need to be respected. And whatever the methodology behind is not important. And then among this governance, you have some flexibility because the rhythm is not the same. We are in Agile, we have some ceremonial to respect. For the Waterfall, you have the key milestone, and then we can adapt within this frame where to provide this visibility, what is more relevant for each methodology to provide the visibility or about where they are at the delivery of the value according to their project life cycle. So we have a frame, and in the frame we allow the flexibility for each methodology to let's say to show or to provide their inputs.
Okay.
So for me, standardization is not to be very strict. Is giving a frame and have the freedom to adapt within the frame.
How would you create metrics around that? How would you say that maybe you are providing this frame, but how would you create maybe, I don't know, like metrics that make sense, that can give idea to the top management that that the projects are going well? That I mean, how would you compare Agile going well between Agile and Waterfall and all of these other methodologies? Because I mean, it's actually very difficult to say an Agile project is doing very well because you are delivering a lot of value, maybe, and a Waterfall project is going really well because you are on time and on budget, etc. So, how would you create those metrics that go around and across all of these different methodologies?
So we can create a unified performance metric. Uh, focusing on outcome. What is the key in different methodology? Let's say that, for example, for Agile, the time to market is key. So to measure how quickly we deliver the value. And it is something that we can put in this unified reporting, measuring the project using Agile, how quick they can deliver the value. And
Okay.
we can also put for the customer satisfaction to reflect the impact of the project delivery. We can align the metric with the organizational strategic goals rather than specific methodology. I have today one frame. In this frame, I have 25 projects, and I have the same health check with my smiley, and the executive members, they know that it's green, red, yellow, and they understand it, whatever the methodology behind. And have another KPI we put, okay, for this one is the delivery value, and we said how many features how many features we have delivered, how many what are the different milestones that you have achieved, and then we put it in all together in one unique one page.
Okay. Okay. Maybe for one last question now. And again, please, if you have any other questions in the audience, please don't forget to leave the questions in the comments area. Maybe one other question I would have before going to my next section would be, how do you make or how do you measure this impact in the portfolio management and the strategic decision making? I mean, how would you say, hey, these kind of projects are giving us more value as a business? So, for example, if you are a retail company, how would you say that these I'm sorry, these projects are, I don't know, increasing our sales, or I mean the value that they're actually providing to the business? How would you measure that across the different methodologies?
The impact of the portfolio.
Yeah, in the business strategy, which could be increase of sales, decrease of costs. I don't know. You know that how can that be like in the business strategy? How are you measuring the performance of the actual project portfolio in the business strategy? It's a
By
difficult question.
ensuring the alignment, the adaptability, and visibility across different projects. So in the portfolio, you have a set of program, and within the program, you have also different projects. And then all those program and projects have been qualified because they are contributing to the strategic to the strategy of the organization. And then standardizing the portfolio reporting. We standardize the
Exactly.
portfolio reporting because it's a very high level. The PMO provide a unified view of the project status, but very high level. At this stage of the portfolio is to give the information to the decision maker, to the
Mhm.
executive, that everything is on track with a high level. So we go for a unified view. And here there's no there's no link to any methodology behind. It's just, are we aligned with what we have to deliver? And then at the portfolio level, you are really at a high level, giving almost what I said. I have three colors. It is red, yellow, and green. And with this, I understand if I'm on track, I have risk, or I have issue. So we need to work on the unified view. What is the most important for at the portfolio level? What are the key KPI that we have to provide and set?
Okay. 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 So thank you for that, and thank you for all of the really interesting information. I think that this has been really useful. For my next section, I'm going to introduce you to our CEO and founder, Mr. Abdullah. He he's going to I know he has some really interesting insights he wants to share with us. So, welcome, Mr. Abdullah. How are you?
Hello, hello everyone. How are you? Good afternoon.
Good
Yeah,
afternoon.
yes, fantastic. Yes, I was, hearing the speech of Nazim, and that was very deep dive. Actually, well done.
It
The
was
content is very good. It's a very interesting topic. I really appreciate. But I must say, Alfonso, that this session, the fire chat session, is not interesting. It is going to be tough, right?
okay.
Yeah. So Nazim, are you ready for it? The storms are coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, shoot me.
Right. Very good. Excellent. Should I start? Yeah. Should I start?
Yeah,
All right.
go
All right.
ahead,
So
please.
fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. So yes, this my session is like is more of a casual discussion with the guest, with the speaker, just to learn that how differently we think about this particular situation, right? I know today's topic is very interesting. It's about methodologies, right? I call the methodologies as the cousins. Yeah. Yeah, so the methodology is like the cousins. So my first question to you, how do you manage these cousins? Because they're connected with each other, right? How do you manage these cousins in a PMO context, in PMO environment? Yeah, over to you. Yes, can't hear you. No, 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 no. Not really.
I'll try remove you and add you to the stage again.
Hmm, hmm. No.
Well, everything was going just so well.
Yeah. Sorry, audience. There's a audio issue.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can resolve that. No, 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 no. Check your mobile device.
You can unmute, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
We
so no.
were.
Yeah. No worries. No. I pass this question to Alfonso. Alfonso. Yeah. So tell me your thoughts about it.
Yeah.
Let Nazim fix it in between. So tell me how uh, these cousins play together in the PMO space. If you have any thoughts on.
Yeah. It's a really interesting question. I think that Mr. Nassim has really addressed a lot of the conversation around that in a very methodologically kind of way. I think that I don't know. You have always these disagreements on the table. Everybody's looking for different things,
Hmm,
different situations. I mean, everybody. I mean, even in the business, not everybody completely aligns with what they're looking for. Some people in the business are uh, in the business side of things, meaning salespeople. I don't know, human resources people. Like everybody is like from their trenches, from their own trenches. They
mhm,
are
mhm,
looking for
mhm,
different objectives. So even though you have this general business objective, you always have these like individual kind of objectives, and these
mhm,
individual kind of objectives align in towards that really general business objective. But they have their own priorities. So
yeah.
it's a balancing act. Having all of these priorities playing together, competing for resources, competing for your attention. It's like kind of you are like the patriarch or matriarch of the family, having all of these discussions, going around
Mm.
and listening to everybody and trying to keep up and trying to prioritize things. I suppose that this is it's a balancing act, I think, and one of the key answers to that balancing act would be
I love that.
answering the
I
value.
love
In the
that.
value,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, you cannot simply just discard one cousin and focus on one, right? So we know that
correct.
it's a combination of all these methodologies, and the recent most of the PMOs are more focused on kind of hybrid kind of mixing of the methodologies to manage their portfolio and keep it open, right? You choose whichever process that you want to run. Yeah. So my next question is, which one is easy? Managing stakeholders in PMO, or selling agile methodologies to the waterfall people in the PMO space. Which one is easy?
I don't know. I think you know what I heard in the past sometimes is that people want either to make I don't know why people tend to have or tend to think just of one methodology maybe in their head. So for example, when agile came into an organization, they think that agile can solve everything, and they think agile is really the best thing, and like everybody gathers around agile and goes into agile and does everything into agile, but or try to do everything into agile. But that's not the right answer. The right answer is that every methodology has its own strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So for me, it's you cannot build, and this is for me one of the examples I try to use every time this discussion comes up. You cannot build a car in an agile way. I mean, if you go to a car dealership and they tell you, I'm gonna deliver you the wheels, and then after that I'm gonna deliver you the steering wheel and then the roof. Of course, you're gonna say you're crazy. I want the whole car, you know. And
Yeah.
as much as complete I can have the car, it's gonna be better. So I suppose that kind of depends on what you're looking for at the end to get
Mm.
in the value of the project.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely right. So let us take a couple of questions from the audience. Which one should we take? There is one question. Is Mr. I would like to request all the audience. Can you please write down all of your confusion regarding, which method you should use for which type of PMO, and how does it work? Please feel free to write in the comment box. Our team will bring it up for us. Right. So let us answer a few of them. So I think one of the questions came up is Mr. Mohammed says, how would you measure the maturity of the PMO with the diverse methodologies? Very interesting question.
Yeah,
Very interesting questions, right? So you see, the maturity assessment has certain parameters, right? And yes, again, these parameters are not common for all the PMOs. All right. So I think you can go for our PMO Global Institute has a very matured maturity assessment model. Right, you can go for it and see all the parameters as well as the questions that will be assessed, right? Yes, first of all, ask yourself that what is your expectation from the PMO, set the KPIs of the PMO, find out the key measurement point of the PMO, then you create your maturity assessment, right? So that doesn't mean, and again, so when you plan your PMO, you decide what kind of PMO you want. Is that going to be a traditional PMO, is going to be a agile PMO kind of thing, right? So when it comes to agile PMO, we have a certification called certified agile PMO consultant certifications, right? So it has a very blueprint model that how this agile PMO can really works. An interesting fact is that agile PMO cannot work without the fundamental PMO, right? So whichever kind of PMO you have, find out your KPIs, assessments, then set the parameters, then go for the assessment, and you need to prepare that for that level of maturity. There are multiple level of maturity. You need to have the parameters designed for the multiple level of maturity. Maybe sometimes it's difficult. Go for the experts who has knowledge about how to assess all these stuffs and everything, right? Yeah. So another question came up is that How do you explain while stakeholders ask about PMO methodology used for alignment? Any methodology by units or stakeholders? Alfonso, you want to share? You have any thoughts on it?
Um, yeah, I mean, I suppose that I mean the clearer that that you can explain to stakeholders why you're using certain methodology, it's the better. So I always use examples, like typical examples. I use the car example right now, but I think the more that you can use examples, like really clear examples on in terms of the benefits that you're going to get out of each one of the methodologies is the better, because actually you can have a clearer explanation to the stakeholder, and also a clearer view of what the actual outcome that he can expect or she can expect out of the methodology can be. So
Yeah,
that will be that for me.
yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting, right? I think stakeholders are more concerned about the result of the PMO, the outcome of the PMO, right, and the projects they're managing it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So what approach you call it, whether you call it methodologies or approach, it's all about
yeah,
how do you manage the project, right? The eventual objective is to get it done, get the project objective achieved
yeah,
as per the the expectations, right? Another interesting question came up: how can a PMO support teams transition from one methodology to another while minimizing disruption? I think it's a very, very good questions, right? So I think in one of the statistics we have learned that in organization there are about 68% stakeholders are not aware about the importance of project management, right? So if you're currently operating in agile, in waterfall kind of team structure, and the project plan, I think the easiest transition could be one of the KPI of PMO is organizing training programs, organizing awareness program, organizing workshops, give free tools, right? Give free consultancy to the team members, and explain
yeah,
what are the benefits. And I always say that do not bring the whole things in one lot. Go one by one, right? So just mix one or two, three practices of agile into your waterfall practice. Run it couple of sprint and see that whether the team is accepting or not. If you see the
yeah.
results are coming, take it forward, add few more, right? So I think PMI, this project management
Hello.
office,
Oh, we can hear you,
actually
Mr. Nazim.
we can
Sorry.
hear Nazim, right? So project management office actually plays a vital role creating this awareness and help in long run transitioning this whole stuff going forward, right? Yeah. So yes, over to you, Alfonso. Maybe the next questions Mr. Nazim can take it.
Mr.
Is
Nazim.
it the question for
The question
Waterfall?
is, Mr.
Mr.
Shohed asked, when I was managing PMO, when I was managing PMO, some managers were set a traditional construction management practices, some had agile project development practices, and some financial teams had waterfall practices. How could I have better presented progress of all projects to C level in same or almost similar format? I had to present each department progress in a different format since all the teams could not agree on the same format. It's a very interesting question. Over to you, Mr. Nazim.
Um, to better present project progress across those different methodology, we could implement a unified PMO reporting framework
Ah, I
instead of
love that.
having,
I love that.
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
for example, you have a common high-level reporting structure with project health, red,
Mm-hmm,
yellow, green, the
mm-hmm,
budget versus actual spend, the
mm-hmm,
key milestone and deliverable, and also the risk and issue status, overall
mm-hmm.
timeline and dependencies.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's
it's
true.
it's the same way of managing. You have a project health, budget, key milestone, and risk and issue. And I think that with this standardized view, the executive have the main information.
Mhm.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
but Nazim, in practically what we have also seen that you are a construction manager, and we know that these are industrial projects where waterfall is very popular, right? Yeah, so when waterfall is very popular, you have your waterfall structure of reporting systems and all. At the same time, in the same organization, you have software team who's managing their projects under the same PMO, probably more on agile focused, agile focused, approaches. So, and we know that the terminologies differ, right? And in agile, many cases we focus more on value, right. So don't you think it's a big, really it's a big challenge in the real world to actually come up with the ideal universal PMO kind of checklist or model? Yeah, are you with me?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
yes, yes.
sorry.
Did you, I'm not sure if you if you get my questions actually, right?
Can I ask you to, sorry, to repeat the question, please?
Yeah. So my question was, in ideal world, it's okay, we can have a universal checklist for these different types of reporting, but in reality we see that in waterfall it has one structure of reporting, and agile it has another structure of reporting.
It
The
does.
terminology is different. And one common thing is that in agile we always focus on value delivery, right? So maybe so how do you practically, is that really possible to come up with a universal kind of the reporting format for different methodologies when it is operating in the PMO space?
Well, if we go for agile, we know how many features we have to deliver, or how those features goes for this. We deliver this value, and then we can say that okay, we have four set of value that we would like to deliver for this customer, for all customers. Value 1, 2, 3, and we have a certain amount of use case or whatever to go for this value. And then if I'm in value 1, I put it red. What does it mean? It means that this value is not we have an issue. And at the same time, you can say value 2 because we work in parallel, we can work in parallel, and said value 2 is green. And then we understand why we understand that we have an issue. And of course, if we want to go into the detail, we have the risk management, and in the same frame, you have the risk. And for the value, I have already experienced this. I have four set of value to deliver, and for the executive team, they want to know if those value has been delivered. It was the main point for them, because at the end it's the revenue that can be generated. Value 1 generate 10 million euro, value 2, etc. And then if I put green, they know that okay, we have delivered, but it's not. And I have another KPI if it has started delivering the revenue or not. So I have two KPI. First one is the achievement of the value, so delivered to the customers, and I have another KPI is it has started delivering the revenue, and then I have green for delivered, and I have we have no color, just in progress, meaning that no revenue generated yet.
Okay.
And I go for the four value in the same one page.
Great
Okay.
answer, great answer. Thank you, Nazim. Thank you, Alfonso. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna move to my next section. So thank you everybody for the participation. Now, I really think this was an interesting conversation. Mr. Nassim, you have been a wonderful guest. I think that all of your insights have been really, really useful. I hope that everybody has learned as much as I did today, because I think that we have all learned a lot about how do we integrate these different frameworks, and how do we present that to the business in a way that they can understand, and they can actually perceive the value of having multiple frameworks on project management. So thank you both of you. I'm gonna move to my next section.
Thank you very much, and thanks for your patience.
It's okay. for the news. This is an important news for us today. We are really happy to invite you to London. So if you are in London or need a reason to go to London, do not hesitate to be in the Certified Agile PMO Consultant, the Agile PMOC training in London from the 25th of April to the 27th. It's going to be what you're going to be earning from that is that you are going to be earning Agile recognition certification. You are going to gain a lot of practical knowledge around through real world use cases. You're going to have the opportunity to network with some other PMO professionals and Agile leaders, and you're gonna have you're gonna receive also access to the Agile PMO learning resources. Also included with that full day London City tour on April 27th. So again, if you are near London or need a reason to go there, do not hesitate to go to do this. I mean, this is really important. I think that some of us do not really value the reason of why we should keep on learning and we should keep on getting updated with these methodologies and these strategies. I think this is a really interesting part of it. Um, do not forget that an average salary for a person that is a PMO manager is actually 60,000 pounds per year. This actually highlights the demand that this role is it's having. Although we are having a lot of artificial intelligence roles and positions impacted in the different industries, I really think this actual uh, PMO role is actually growing because of the human interactions and the complexities around it. And I think that in general, what we're seeing in these training sessions and these learning sessions is that the nuances we're actually looking at the nuances of having these roles updated. And I don't know, the tools that you are having here, I hope that they are helping you in your day-to-day basis, and then your day-to-day knowledge increase for this. So that will be all from my side. I'm really glad to be here. I'm really glad to be your host. Please, you can reach me. You can reach us at LinkedIn. You can send the questions, and if you have any more comments, do not forget to send them. Again, thank you for the opportunity to be here with the guests, speakers, and Mr. Abdullah. I really hope that you had a nice session today. So see you in the next one.